Welcome back to Building with Why. Today, we're going to build a flow that will trigger when a new email arrives in your inbox. We will compare the sender to a list of known contacts, and then use an AI prompt to determine which category it should go to. After we've categorized the email, we will then save the attachment into SharePoint, and then we will update the applicable record with the new details. Stay tuned for the end when I show you how I built my prompt. First is the Guardians list, which we will use to determine if an email has been sent from a known source. And then we're going to use the students list to update that student's record with the new information. For this flow, email workflow with students, we're going to trigger it based off of when a new email arrives. We will use the get items to pull all of the Guardian data. We will use the Guardian list and filter it based off of the email address is equal to the sender. Then we'll throw in a condition, and in the condition, we will evaluate the number of records returned by student guardians, and if the number is equal to 0, then we will cancel the flow. And we'll do that by using the length function body value. If true, we'll use the terminate function. If it's not failed, it's canceled. And if it's false, we'll leave that blank. Then we will use the AI builder. We will use the create text with GPT using a prompt and categorize emails. For the input categories, we're going to use vaccine, student cancellation, and student missing class. I'm only going to use 3 categories today, but you can use as many categories as you need based off of what is important to you. I'm only going to extract 2 entities today, but if you need to extract more, by all means, add more entities. Now, when you're creating an approval, I personally like to create the approval and then send the approval and have it as 2 different steps. That way, if I need to create an approval, have some things in between, and then send it, I can do that. Or, if you're just going to send it all at once, go ahead and click on Start and Wait for Approval, or Start and Wait for an Approval of Text. As the details, I'm going to use the outputs from the categorized email. Specifically, I'm going to use the text, the student name, and the guardian name. I'm going to pause here for a second, and I'm going to talk about why an approval is necessary. AI is smart, and AI is going to give you what it thinks is the right answer. However, if you've dealt with AI any amount of time, you'll know that sometimes AI does not get it right. When you're using AI, it's important to look at what the outputs of your prompts are before you apply them. That can save you some embarrassment later on. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw in another condition, and that's going to look at what the approval status is. So if the outcome is equal to approve, then we'll continue on with the flow. If the output does not equal approve, then we'll use another terminate action to cancel the flow. Now to help organize everything, I'm going to put everything into a scope statement. All scope does is it's an organization tool. That way you can put all the actions for a specific sequence of steps together into one scope, and when you're troubleshooting and try to figure out what's going on, you know which part of the flow that you're looking at. Okay, we're going to use another SharePoint get items. And this time we're going to be looking at the student list. Where title is equal to your student name outputs. I'm going to use the SharePoint create file action in order to create the file based off the attachment. When I did that, you'll notice that I created a for each statement. I do not really want a for each statement. I just want to grab the first attachment. When we look at the schema, we will see that the name for the attachment is the correct schema. If I look at the for each, I can see trigger outputs body/attachments is where I want to start. So in order to get the first item, I'm going to copy this value from attachments. I'm going to use the function key. I'm going to paste in the name. And I only want the first record, so I'll type in 0. And name was the column name. Okay. Another way to do this, 0 will get us the first record, and then content bytes will get us the content of the file. If we go to dynamic content and select attachment, this will do the same thing for us. So that's two different ways that you can use to get this trigger outputs body/attachments. You just need to be able to know this second part. I use SharePoint get properties. And I can use the ID from the create file step to find the ID for the file properties that we want. This will get us the link, so when we update the student record, we can attach the link for this file to the student record. All right, same thing. We know that we want the first record from the student list, and we know that we need the ID column from the student list. Then we can go to dynamic content and use the get student list body value. And that will input, and that will update that first section. So vaccine records will change to yes. And then the link, we can just type in link to get to where we need to go. To add a parallel branch and to add more branches to your flow, right click on your plus button and add a parallel branch. We'll put the scope here, student missing class. And then put another scope in, and we'll call this one student cancellation. Click save. And then test. And to do this test, we will have to manually send an email which will trigger this flow. Okay, here's the email that I'm going to send. Going to the manager, just letting them know that he's submitting the records for the student, Layla Smith, who's enrolled at Young Stars Preschool. And the records are attached. And so here is the approval that is sent to us. It was classified as a vaccine. Layla Smith was the student, Sam Smith was the guardian. I can click approve. And so there you have it. It went and updated our item. And so if we look at the student record, we can see Layla Smith was updated with her vaccine record as present, and the new record has been uploaded as a link. We'll select prompts to create our own prompt. When we look at the available options, Microsoft has created a number of prompts that we can use as a starting point. So if we click on classified text, it says classify the input text into one of several categories, and then it gives us some parameters for if it can't figure out what the correct category is. So we're going to go in, we're going to edit name, and we're going to change this to email body. And then we're going to paste in our input categories based off of what we had previously done. We're going to take our email and paste that into the sample data. Click Save. And test prompt. Okay, so the output is vaccine, which is fine. I like to have it come out in JSON. Power Automate just deals with it a little bit better if it's in a JSON format. JSON, test prompt again. Now category equals equal to vaccine. Click on Save. So as you can see, there's not a whole lot that I need to do in order to build out this categories. So also in the Microsoft pre-built prompts, there's an extract information from text option. And the prompt is already built out, and it already provides some key formatting inputs for this prompt. So you don't have to do a whole lot with that. So I'm just going to copy this in its entirety and paste it into the prompt that I've already built. Okay. Now, one thing that is though, so extract the specified entity. We're going to go ahead and add an input, and we're just going to call this entity. And the provided text is really just going to be our email body. So I'll already use that and say email body. And I'm going to separate this out just so that it's a little clearer as to what it is that I want there. And click test prompt. All right, so I didn't tell it what I wanted, so it came up with some stuff. So go ahead and enter student name and guardian name. Test prompt again. Now category vaccine, student name is Layla, guardian name is Sam, and both of them are in a string format. As you are building your prompt, make sure that you're testing it thoroughly so that it accomplishes exactly what it is that you want, and take advantage of the tools that Microsoft has already given you so that you can be more efficient in what you're doing. Don't recreate the wheel just because you can. And so there you have it. I hope you learned something today. I know that I certainly did. And if you need some help building this flow or building another flow, please reach out to me at nextsteplowcodelabs@gmail.com. I'd be happy to schedule some time with you and get you back to doing what you do best. Don't forget to hit like, don't forget to hit subscribe. See you next time.